Right.
Yeah.
Welcome to a stunningly warm and sunny afternoon at the Circuito de Jerez, Angel Nieto. This is the final race of the final round of the European Super Trofeo, and this one is dedicated to the AM and Lamborghini Cup class runners. My name is Bruce Jones. I'm joined in the commentary box by Stuart Middleton to bring some expert advice alongside my commentary. And yesterday it was wet, it was nasty, the track was changing with every lap. Today for these drivers, Stuart, it's a much better proposition.
Yeah, it was certainly an action-packed one yesterday, and it was not the easiest of jobs for the guys out there. So, yeah, I'm sure they're going to be a bit happier in these sunnier conditions. A bit more of a straightforward race. But let's see. Anything can happen.
It certainly can. The wind is blowing in, and in fact, the weather's going to get better and better for the World Finals here at Jerez on Saturday and Sunday. 4 days of racing, 1 day before that of practicing. And the wind of change is coming through. Heading into this, as I said, it's for the AM class and the Lamborghini Cup class, the LC. Already yesterday with a victory for Randazzo and Tribudini, they sorted out the AM class, but the Lamborghini Cup, you've got to keep an eye on that. I've given you the championship table. Shota Alcazaba leads the way by 8.5 points. We can do the maths later, but he hasn't got it in the bag. So we'll talk about through the course of the race, but Paolo Bilieri and Petar Matic still have a chance, and while there's a chance, you got to go for it. Right, 16 cars on the grid. The European field was so large. Look at that track temperature, 23 degrees. But let's go down to the grid. It's warm, and Marietta is down there.
Yes, I'm down here on the grid. Actually, it's not as warm as you may think. It's very, very windy down here on the grid. As I said it, the wind stopped blowing. I am here down here with P1 at the moment, Hewlin Han. Hewlin still has a chance for the championship, so let's see. Not for first place, but for second and third. So let's see what he's got to say. Hewlin, obviously very different conditions today. Are you feeling more confident in the sunny conditions?
I try not to think about it. Just stay on track and finish the race.
What did you learn from yesterday and obviously your whole seasons with Lamborghini that could help you apply to this race?
Probably the best platform in the Cup series, the one-make series. Yeah, very fast. Car is almost GT3. I mean, faster than GT3. Very race car.
Look, you're still in the championship, not for first place, but for second and third. Are you looking forward to racing?
Just try my best.
Let's try your best. Good luck.
Thank you, Dakota, not Marietta. It was the wind on your microphone. I suddenly thought I had the wrong name there. But Huilin Han on pole position, the Chinese racer, and he is racing for Target Racing. So this field, separated from the Pro and the Prams, they had their own race because we had so many cars. We couldn't have 46 cars on one grid. So we got the 16 here, Dakota leaving the grid there, and now the teams, you get into that zone. Stuart, this is Shota Alcazaba. He is not yet got his hands on the LC Cup. He's got 8.5 point advantage. We've done the maths. We worked out he needs to finish fourth if Bilieri and Matic win the race. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds, but he's done well because he's qualified in effective class pole position, third on the grid, whereas his challenges are somewhat further back down in 11th place.
Yeah, he's Avakavadze's got a kind of a hand touch in the trophy at the moment, and you know, but it's still all to play for, so yeah, should be interesting to keep an eye on that battle.
We certainly will, but Dakota's caught up with the Lewandowski clan down at Autosport Racing.
Yes, I'm down with the Lewandowski clan and with the younger Lewandowski. Obviously, yesterday was not the perfect race for you. Today's got to be better, doesn't it?
I mean, yesterday we were second, so I hope today wouldn't be bad, be second again, because the quali wasn't the best for me, and I am seventh, so no, there is work to do if you won't be second again, so we will see.
Good luck. I've got to go because you're going to start your engines now and I don't want to get caught on the grid.
Well done to Kota there, cutting it very fine indeed, but we worked to get those interviews for you and hope you enjoy them. So that was Adrian Lewandowski. He'll be handing over to his father, Andre. They're separated in the championship because Andre missed a few races, but he has had many, many Lamborghini Super Trofeo titles. Colour codes, AM on the top corner of the windscreen is green, and the top right hand from the driver's point of view, it's the Lamborghini Cup in blue. But the best Lamborghini Cup car is Shota Akbazava. He's the car second in the line closest to the pit wall, therefore third on the grid. Pole position is on the pit wall side, and a lot of people feel that the outside line is actually the better one because that's the inside line for the first corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a tricky one. Obviously, most cases you want to be on the inside just so you've got that covered going into the first corner. Obviously, if you're on the outside, you've got to kind of hang it round, and it's always a bit of a risk trying to do that. So, yeah, I mean, guys on the outside just going to have to try their best. But then again, they have the advantage with the rubber on the left-hand side of the track. So, yeah, you know, it's always tight.
Exactly so, but this will be a rolling start because, of course, the field being led around by the Urus there. Fantastic, cracking pace car to have. I remember the first time I saw one, I thought, oh, wow. Then it took off, the noise it made. So here's the starting grid. Huilin Han on pole position. Young French racer Lucas Valcre alongside. Target Racing from DL Racing on the front row. They're both AMs. We move to row 2. There's Shota Akbazava. Third on the grid, top in the LC class for Artline. And Pier Giacomo Randazzo alongside winner of yesterday's race, and he actually is already crowned champion in the AM class. Row 3, Serwin Mazur, who made quite an impact, not in the way he wanted yesterday with 2 collisions, but he's quick, and Stefan Guerin, who was an outside title hope, but his title hopes were spiked in the AM class yesterday. He starts 6th. Row 4, Adrian Lewandowski will start 7th and hand over to father Andre. Cyril Solai, French racer, also racing in the AM class, will start in 8th. Then Nigel Bailey from Belgium, also an AM. And then Donovan Privitello, and of course he races with father Luciano Privitello, and they were last year's champion in the LC class. Then Pietra Matic, this is the car, the outside challenger in the LC class. And Holger Harmsen alongside for GT3 Poland. Then Rodrigue Guillon, another Belgian driver in the race. Oliver Freimuth, AKF Motorsport. And the final row of the grid, Sylvain Doms and Alfredo Hernandez Ortega, who didn't get to go too far yesterday. That was when it was wet and nasty and greasy and slippery. Today it's dry, as you can see there. Very blowy though, and that might just affect the drivers a little bit. 50 minutes of racing, and Stuart Middleton in the middle of that, there's a pit stop to be made.
Yes, so yeah, when it comes to the pit stop, obviously guys in the first stint have got to do the best job possible, try and extend whatever lead they've got, and yeah, just trying to look after the tyres and keep the car in one piece. So yeah, although it's a short race, yeah, they've still got to look after the car and bring it in one piece to the next driver.
Right, and that leaves me just enough time to explain that the drivers who are doing the race solo, their pit stop lasts 3 seconds longer, or it's supposed to last 3 seconds longer than their rivals. 86 seconds for the 2 driver lineups, 89 for the other, and every race so far I think has had someone just getting it slightly wrong when looking at their stopwatch. It doesn't affect them too badly, but they get a time penalty for any time that they have cut under that margin. So through turn 14, it's a 15-turn circuit. The Urus will peel off into the pit lane, unless a message hasn't reached me, but that should be happening. And in he peels. So on the front row, we've got Huilin Han. Look for his yellow, the 2 very dark cars, but the yellow wing mirrors is what you need to look for our pole starter. He'll be on the pit wall side, and alongside him on the grid is Lucas Valcre for DL Racing. Shota Akbazava, just for a laugh, he's going to try and take the lead, surely, but they're looking at the lights on the gantry. Can he nail the Lamborghini Cup class? Waiting at the cars in position, and then the flick of the button. 2, 3, 4 abreast they go, but the front row absolutely even, and the car from Vincenzo Sospiri Racing, that's Randazzo. Oh, Huilin Han has been given a helping hand. We talked about being on the outside line. You might get a bit of a bruise on the hip. He might have one there, but third place will go to VSR for Randazzo, and on the outside, he lost the position, but Shota Akbazava has tucked in, leading the LC Cup class. But you have to really feel a little bit there for our pole starter, getting a push and a shove up at the first corner. And so into the lead goes Lucas Valcre. In behind through turn 4, everyone behaving very nicely indeed, looking quite tight. 79 coming through, nearly contact with 32. And that was the 32's got Pietra Matic, and he doesn't want to go off because he's the challenger in the LC class.
Yeah, everybody making it round there in one piece, so it's always good to see. Obviously, unfortunate for the leader, just dropping a position there, but we still have 50 minutes of racing, so, you know, plenty of time to make that back up.
Well, running a little bit wide on the exit of the hairpin, very close to dipping the wheel off. A car that really caused a little bit of trouble, showed great speed, is the one that was right in the mix there, 79, which is Sirwin Mazur, very new to racing, had a couple of contacts, ironically, with the same car, one with the first drive and one with the second. But he has that raw speed, clearly, so he's definitely one to watch. But look, this is a really good escape from Lucas Valkyrie. He got the lead at the first corner. Can't quite see there's any damage on the side of the car, but there definitely was a little bit of contact, and that is how you take the chicane. Hop, skip, jump, and come down to terra firma.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for effort there. Nice bit of curb. And yeah, now that it's dry today, you can certainly take a lot more. So yeah, we should be seeing a little bit more curb jumping.
So Lucas Valkyrie leading for DL Racing, and everyone behind hopping through the chicane. He's got actually quite a tiny margin, just waiting for 1.3 seconds. He was half a second, 2/3 of the way around the lap, but he was very quick, as we saw, through the chicane. Got a wonderful exit from the final corner, and he is pressing on 75. There is Shota Akuzawa, the metallic blue car, and the team's had great success already today because his teammate Igor Oritsev won the Pro and Pro-Am race earlier and just looks in supremely good form. Obviously, the Artline team's got a very good setup for their car as well that works for both of their drivers. It's not always an easy thing when you've got a pro driver and a driver who is an AM, which Shota is.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's always going to be quite a sort of a gap between the Pro and the Pro-Am. But yeah, it just all comes down to the experience, and you'll gain pace naturally, just, you know, time behind the wheel.
Yeah, looking good, but already the lead is continuing to stretch. I'm waiting to see if Wheeling Hand could start fighting back, but as yet it hasn't really happened. He's 1.3 seconds down. He's not losing as much, but the first lap and a half from Lucas Valkyrie has been very, very positive indeed, and he's clearly proving quite an addition to the championship in this class. Now, just need to see, Petar Matic has got up to 8th place, and he started 11th. He's the driver who is chasing to see if he can topple Shota Akuzawa, but I think every place he gains here on in is going to get tougher, isn't it, as you work up the order?
Yeah, the guys towards the front just got a little bit more natural pace, so every time he overtakes a car, the job's just going to be a little bit harder each time. But in that situation, that's not really what you're thinking about. You're just thinking, okay, let's just push as hard as we possibly can, see where we end up.
Okay, let's just talk. It's very early in the race to talk about tyre degradation, but when you push very hard, very early in the race, it really takes a chunk out of your performance at the end. So you've got to, it's not like racing in Formula E where you've got to just save your electric power. It's saving the rubber. Oh, and now Wheeling Hand being challenged very hard indeed by Randazzo. But you can see that the teams that haven't had to push so much, they've maybe been slightly racing on their own. When the second driver gets in, or the driver who started, who's racing solo, at the end of the race, then their performance is just streets ahead of their rivals. Yeah,
it's definitely a skill that's you know, an important one to master, just managing the tyre degradation. But yeah, like you mentioned, just even these opening laps of the race, it makes a huge difference to the end. So yeah, if you use the peak of the tyre like way too early, then you know you're going to find sort of last sort of quarter of the race, it's just going to fall off a cliff. So if they can kind of just keep it within the window and don't push too hard, then definitely make their lives easier later.
Okay, what we're seeing here is the race lead goes out to 1.9 seconds. Wheeling Hand is getting a little bit ragged with that pressure from Randazzo. Shota Akuzawa's just been sitting in 4th place ever since. But look how the gaggle of cars, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, down, and 6th, down to Adrian Lewandowski, almost nose to tail. So clearly, and I think the way I just said that Wheeling's getting a little bit ragged, he is the driver who's taking the chunks out of his tyres at the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely not taking any prisoners for sure with the tyres. You know, I mean, yeah, for sure track position can pay off, but at the same time, you just got to try and manage it the best you can. But the most important thing I would say is just looking after the rear tyres. So try not to get the rear end sliding, you know, especially through the high-speed corners, because that's where the sort of the most kind of friction's happening with the tyre. So yeah, just need to kind of look after them a little bit better.
Yeah, no, certainly so. So Pier Giacomo Randazzo really putting the pressure on. Just looking to see if any, well, actually, I tell you what, Petar Matic, instead of gaining places, he just lost one. Just off the back of this little battle. Sirwin Mazur has moved past, 79 ahead of 32. We saw them battling early on with a little bit of possible contact, but no notifications on my screen, so adjudged by the stewards to be all good and fine. But Lucas Valkyrie in the lead of this race on this try. Now, finally, Wheeling Hand has just got a little bit of a gap as he goes through turn 4. little bit of breathing space. Maybe there was a slight mistake from Randat, so maybe in third place, maybe this driver, the driver leading the LC class, Shota Abgazava, is just putting a bit of pressure on him, but actually as soon as Wheel in Hand had a little bit of space, Randazzo caught up again, so I think Randazzo might have made a little bit of a slip and a slide, and now he's back on the pace again in third.
Yeah, just looking at his previous lap, he was a couple tenths slower, so yeah, just maybe he's had a little wiggle in one of the corners.
But equally, when you're in that chaser position, it's very easy to go, okay, I'm having a go here, and then it doesn't work, but you've lost time in the trying and the recovering. But actually now Shota Abgazava in fourth place, leading the LC grouping, is putting increasing pressure on him, so it's getting harder and harder for Randazzo. But there's the gap. That's a really good graphic showing the gap from Abgazava in fourth place down to his championship rival, Petra Matic, 7.7 seconds. But more importantly, it's there are 4 cars between them. So Petra Matic and his teammate Paolo Bilieri, they need things to happen, and it needs to happen now because the clock is ticking down. We're only 7 minutes into this race. It's only 50 minutes in all, but with no gain recently. Petra Matic is 3 seconds down on Cyril Salai, so it's going to take all of his stint to even catch the car ahead. But then Paolo Bilieri will give it his best shot, but let's see what happens. But certainly in the LC class, it's very much a case of Shota Abgazava in fourth place overall, leading company comfortably.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a bit of a mountain to climb for Matic and Biglieri, but for sure it's early days in the race. So yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Safety cars, incidents. But if they can kind of do a little bit of gambling early on, try and make a few places, for sure it's going to be a better position for the end of the race where it matters.
Yeah, but just looking at the lap times, they're lapping at the moment. Petra Matic is lapping more than 2 seconds a lap slower than the car he's hoping to hunt down. So it's going to be a big ask. Of course, in yesterday's race, I did look across you just after the start. It's almost sunny on a rainy day. Then the rain came back in. Today, though, clearly it's set fair for the rest of the race. So there isn't a sort of arrival of the changing of the tide or anything. The track is as it's going to be for the remainder of the race. So some of those variables that were there yesterday, actually in abundance, are not here today.
Yeah, if I was Matic, I would probably be wanting the rain, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, nice to have the sun and get a tan, but no, for sure, if you're the one chasing, you want more risk, really. So yeah, just a bit of an unfortunate one for them, but hey ho, can't complain too much.
But it's a rare occasion for these cars to be separated from the pros and pro-am, so it's a totally different feel having a race with fewer cars around you. You can focus on your own battle, because when you have a 4-class championship, a lot of those battles are intermingled between the classes, but here it's pure AM and Lamborghini Cup. And, it's great to be able to showcase them like this. And for them, it's a lot more space. And they don't get to the point at the end of the race where they're having to look in their mirrors as the pros are coming through. The last thing they want to do is to appear on television and block a fantastic lead battle. So that pressure is out of their way today. So that's great.
Yeah, definitely makes life easier for the guys out there today. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much pressure when you've got like a really, really busy track with pros, pushing, every little tenth out of the car. And yeah, I mean, I've been there before. It's definitely not the nicest of feelings getting blocked, and obviously, you get quite frustrated with it. So yeah, for sure, it's much nicer being able to focus on your own race and push on. So.
Yeah, very, very much the case. Just noticing that Petra Matic has actually gone from 8th to 9th to 10th off that good start. He started 11th, had that good opening lap. He's falling back. Our race leader is pulling ever further clear. Lucas Valkyrie, 3.6 seconds clear. Fastest lap of the race in the bag, 1 minute 47.8. Still time to come relative to the very fastest drivers today, but he's doing a fantastic job. Now let's take a look back to the start of the race. Wheel in Hand was in pole position. That's the side by the pit wall with the yellow wing mirrors, and alongside was Lucas Valkyrie. And it looked so even on the run up towards the first corner. Stuart, talk us through what happened next.
So yeah, I just think Valkyrie just gets a little jump on him there, and then leading up to turn 1, I think he just squeezes him a bit too much, to be honest. Could have opened the line up a bit more, and yeah, just hinders him in the end, and unfortunately just gets a nice little tap there on the side. But yeah, it's racing. Just didn't pay off, unfortunately.
Well, let's talk about racing. Let's talk about racing drivers. Let's talk to racing drivers. And Paolo Bilieri is with Dakota.
Paolo Bilieri is definitely with me in the pit lane. P2 in class at the moment. This is the last race. You got to catch those points. Are you ready to do it?
Yeah, we are very ready to do it. We are looking forward for the fight here in the championship. Obviously, it will not be easy because we are 10 points behind Kazaba. He's doing very good because he's fighting with the arm in the front of the row. But let's see, we'll do our best. When I jump in the car, I will try to fight as much as I can. Thank you.
Does Shota have a weakness? Do you think Shota has a weakness, Abakazava? Does he have a weakness? Anything that you can kind of, if you got close enough to him, you could use to pass him?
No, the thing is, what I'm seeing right now is he's pushing like a hell in this moment because he's fighting with the other cars from the AM category, other category, and he's not looking at the championship at all. Let's see. We are seeing what will happen. I will jump in the car and try. Obviously, he's far away right now, but we'll try to do our best.
Anything you'd like to say to your family in Italian?
Ci proviamo, la diamo tutta, andiamo per il campionato. Grazie a tutti.
Grazie. What Paolo said is he's going to try to get the championship, and thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Dakota. Fantastic interview. What a character, Paolo Bilieri. I mean, there was a lot of positive thought there because, yes, he's sort of rather hoping that Shota Abkazara is taking the rubber off his tyres at the moment. But I think Shota's been driving these Super Trofeo cars for a very long time, and I think he knows fully what he's doing. But, again, power of positive thought. Right, certainly if you're the DL Racing team, you're feeling very positive indeed, because the battle we look at now, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, they're 4 and a bit seconds back from Lucas Valkyrie. He's turning into the chicane. They're only just going into turn 10. Their turn to come down to the chicane right now. Ooh, a little bit of interest from the back of the pack. Adrian Lewandowski all over the tail of Stefan Guerin. Shota Abkazar was in the front. The worst thing that could happen to Shota is if the battle behind gets a little bit tight and he gets caught up in it. You know, maybe used a bit like a pinball and knocked out of the way.
Yeah, you don't want that happening for sure. Obviously, you know, everybody's trying to fight for position, but yeah, it's just got to be sensible somewhat and try not to get involved in anything too silly. Obviously, the guys behind are giving them a hard time, then yeah, maybe it's more sensible for the championship just to, yeah, be a little bit on the cautious side there.
Yeah, but I suppose we have to focus on the fact that he's been there for 5, 6 laps now and hasn't got in anybody's way. Equally, he's as quick as anyone around him, so it's not like he's there by any measure of default. He's there in his own merit. We'll be loving it, but he's just got to watch, because certainly Stefan Guerin is getting closer to his tail in 5th place because he's being pushed by Adrian Lewandowski. And from time to time, the white car from Vincenzo Sospiri Racing with Pier Giacomo Randazzo takes little looks at Huilin Han, but Huilin, the Chinese driver, has got things tidied up very nicely indeed. He was quite cryptic when he was sitting in the car on the grid, but I think he was just so focused on starting from pole position, it didn't work out for him. But Lucas Valkyrie, you know, made the move, a little bit of contact, adjudged to be absolutely fair. He's escaped. I think Huilin possibly felt that was going to happen because, of course, qualifying was in mixed conditions for the drivers, wet and becoming marginally drier when that happened yesterday morning. But right now, he knows that there's no way he's going to catch Lucas Valkyrie. Lucas will be handing over car number 72, the DL Racing entry. Oh, and suddenly, there we are. I looked down at my timing screen for a second, and second becomes third, and third becomes second. So I said that Randazzo was looking, and Huilin Han was getting a little bit ragged. And now everyone else thinks it could be their moment too. Down into the chicane, Stefan Guerin, the Schumacher CLRT racer, car number 13, was always having a look at Shota Abkazara, almost producing the sort of concept that I came up with. A sort of not a crazy concept, not one you'd want, but these things can happen in the background of the car. We've got to watch the driver in 7th place, because Serwin Mazur has been hauling them in, this young Pole, and he is definitely wanting a slice of that battle.
Yeah, I think with this battle going on, obviously we saw Randazzo just having a good look and sort of darting in and out. And yeah, in turn, I think just the guys behind were just losing a little bit of pace because of that. So yeah, just the change of positions just made things a little bit trickier just for the pace.
Okay, fantastic replay of the cars coming through at turn 8, and maybe a slight mistake from Huilin Han, and it would already sense, because you know that phrase, send it, I don't really like it, but that was exactly what car 66 did with driver Pier Giacomo Randazzo. Better run through turn 8, which to my eye is one of the trickiest corners on the circuit here, particularly when the track conditions were greasy or wet yesterday. But up into 2nd place for VSR. Now, what can Randazzo do about the pace of Lucas Valkyrie? Nothing. But what can he do about his own pace? Pick it up and see if he can close the gap. It's 6.7 seconds, because certainly the previous lap they all got a little bit tangled and slowed down. That's also why Mazur closed in 7th place. Not yet on the back of that pack. Some good battles further back. A little look at this little 4-car grouping coming down to the hairpin. enjoying their own battle, and that's Cyril Salai. Second car in the group is the championship challenger in the LC category, and that is Petamatic, still down in 10th place. Holger Harmsen tucked in behind him, Nigel Bailey right with him as well, so a really good scrap. But right now what Petamatic wants is clear track and the ability to just go off after those in front of him. He did have that contact out of the hairpin on the first lap. Don't know if it's hindered him, but would have shaken his confidence. But he'll be coming in, I think, quite early to hand over to his sort of effusive, ebullient teammate who we had in the pit lane a short while ago, Paolo Biglieri. Can't go into the pits yet, but under 4 minutes, the pit window will open. Stay open for 10 minutes. Let's see who's going to jump in first.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Biglieri jump in the car. I'm sure he's going to be fired up for this one. So let's see what he can do. And then also just looking at the sectors, you can see Randazzo. He does seem to be taking a little bit out of the lead there. Seems to be pretty good on the sectors. So yeah, I think, you know, with a couple of the change of positions, we're just seeing a bit more of what the pace is, you know, in clean air for some of these drivers. Whereas for sure with a Super Trofeo car, you know, you get quite a bit of aero wash. It's a very high-speed cars, so they do rely on the aero quite a bit. So yeah, we're now seeing sort of a bit more of a natural pace of some of these guys.
Okay, looking at car number 3, that's in 6th place. That's Adrian Lewandowski, but very shortly he'll have a fellow pole coming onto his tail, the white car in the background. That's Surin Mazur. And he is definitely quicker than all the cars in front of him. He took half a second out of them last time around, a full second when they were scrapping the lap before, so he's closing in. Next car in line is Donovan Privitello, last year's champion, along with Luciano, keeping it in the family in the LC class. But he's running second in LC at the moment, and that is a car that certainly Petamatic and his teammate Paolo Biglieri need desperately to get behind them in the remaining half hour and a little bit more of this 50-minute race. This is the final race, the 12th race, the 6th round. Each round has two races, and the season will be at a conclusion. But for Lucas Valkyrie, it's not going to be a championship for him this year, but if he can end up with a class victory, that will do very nicely for the racer, for DL Racing. Hasn't had one as yet this year, but you know, end your season on a high if you possibly can.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I mean, you just got to make the most of the situation and above all, enjoy it. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll be very happy if he can pull this one off.
Wheel in hand, the black and yellow car crossing the line in 3rd place. Shotab Kazavi leading LC, still in 4th place, sitting quite happily because the last few laps, Stefan Guerin had been getting a bit closer to him in the black car with the gold flashes. That's in 5th place. That's from Schumacher CLRT, but now the pressure's coming back onto his tail from Adrian Lewandowski. There's a good visual of the gap from 1st to 2nd. The white and yellow and blue car of VSR in the hands of Pier Giacomo Randazzo, 6.4 seconds down. He needs to take chunks out of the leader. He took 1/10 of a second. That's not enough, clearly. But I think the change in dynamic here, just before the pit window opens in just over a minute, is that Surin Mazur, he will be doing the second half of the race. So his pit stop will be 3 seconds longer than the cars in front of him. But he has the advantage of knowing the track conditions. He's in the zone. He got a little bit caught out early in the race, but he's certainly making amends right now. He started 5th and got shuffled down to outside the top 10. So it's actually been a very impressive drive from Mazur.
Yeah, he's working his way back up there. He's not losing any confidence from you know, what happened earlier, so he's doing exactly what he needs to. Like you mentioned with a pit stop as well, although it's an extra 3 seconds, I'm sure he'll easily make that up once he goes back out the pit. Just already being in that rhythm and knowing the car, knowing the limit. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, certainly we do that. So wheel in hand, he started on pole, but he's down in 3rd position. And Shotab Gazarov, the metallic blue car, is 4th, leading LC deep among all the AMs. The next car in the LC category is Donovan Privitello, who's about another 7 seconds back out of the background of the shot, just going through turn 14 now on this 15-turn circuit. Right, bing, the pit window is open. So in fact, the drivers at the very tail end of the field could dive in now, but they will. Well, I don't know if anyone will, but certainly they're being waited for. And that is Andrei Lewandowski waiting for his son, Adrian, to bring it in. Their car is number 3. It's running in 6th place overall. It just hasn't been the opening for Adrian to make the move on Stefan Guerin. Okay, 2 cars at the back. Okay, so actually this could have worked very well for Petamatic. He was just the right side of the changing of the hour, if you will, the opening of the pit window. And Rodri Guillon has also come into the pit lane. as well. 2 or 3 of the tail enders of this 16-car field. But for our race leader, Lucas Valkyrie, 6.6 seconds clear. So in fact, he's actually stretched his margin over the last handful of laps. Down into the hairpin goes the white car of Pier Giacomo Randazzo, and then et al, I think we could say, because suddenly the next gaggle of cars, nose to tail, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. Han, Abkazava, Guerin and Lewandowski, and then just behind them about is second and a bit back is Cyril Mazur. There's the white car in the background with the young Pole on board.
Yeah, he's just chipping away there, just biding his time. Yeah, like I mentioned before, I think just with these guys being so close to one another, they're just kind of almost hindering each other and slowing each other up. So, yeah, he'll just be cruising along and, yeah, biding his time. He'll be on the tail of this before long.
Right, you've got to lose your racing driver, now prototypical commentator hat. You're now a team manager. Your car's at the back of this pack. Do you just bring it in right now?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you're at the back of the pack and then you've got a nice gap behind, yeah, you could take a gamble, try and, you know, switch strategies. You know, sometimes it's better to gamble that way because the guys in front have got more to lose. So, yeah, I mean, for sure, if I was the team manager, yeah, I would certainly look at taking that opportunity. But then you also got to look as a team manager, you know, do we pit early or do we just stretch that as long as we can? Because you've got the possibility, you know, a safety car coming out and then it can, yeah, really hinder things. So, yeah, it's always a gamble for sure.
Go, you have been listening in team briefings. Well done. So, yeah, exactly. So even on a dry track, there are options. There are different ways you can peel the apple or whichever other metaphor you want to throw into it. But for Andre Lewandowski, he's letting his son Adrian stay out as long as he can. He was one of the cars that went through. There he is now into 3rd place behind Wheeling Han. He stayed out, so did race leader Lucas Valkyrie, but because Han was running in 3rd position and we lost the car from 2nd that pitted, that means that his advantage is now fully 10 seconds. Here's the battle for 2nd and 3rd. Wheeling Han in the black and yellow car and Adrian Lewandowski, and Cyril Mazur is actually lost a tiny bit of ground. So maybe he's taken the life out of his tyres early. He knows he's got his pit stop coming up, though, and then he'll come back out on the same rubber.
Yeah, it's not a nice feeling knowing when the tyres are at the end of the sort of usable life, and then you've got to do another stint on them. It's just as a driver, you just think, oh, please just give us another set. But yeah, with this race, that's not the case.
No, certainly not, because there was no traffic interrupting his flow. When I say he, I'm talking about Cyril Mazur, now up into 4th place. Remember, he started 5th, but he fell out of the top 10, got caught out probably very early on the opening lap, but it's been a fight back ever since. But Lucas Valkyrie just doing a fantastic job leading this race at the moment. Diego Locanto will be waiting to take it over, and Wheeling Han comes in, but Adrian Lewandowski is going, you know what, I'll save the old man the trouble. I'll keep on running around. He's now up into 2nd place.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. I mean, he's got nice clear air in front of him, so I mean, for sure he should pick up a little bit of pace, not following any other cars. So yeah, probably the right call, to be honest.
Right, so 2 solo drivers coming in, and that's Wheeling Han and Cyril Mazur. So they both have a pit stop that's 3 seconds longer than any of their 2 driver rivals, and that will drop them down the field a little bit. But had they done enough on those last couple of laps when some of their rivals pitted early, of course, they've come back out onto the track. Another driver driving solo is of course, Shota Abkazava. So we'll look to see where 75 pops back up in the order, but suddenly it's getting very, very busy on a little stretch of track there. Adrian Lewandowski he's got car number 25 behind him, and that's not a car he's been finding with too much up to this point. Right. Final pit stop still to come. There is 5 minutes and a little bit longer remaining, so those that haven't come in still have the choice. This car hasn't come in.
Yeah, they're just trying to extend that stint as long as they possibly can. I mean, yeah, obviously he's in a good rhythm, and like I mentioned, I think he's just naturally picking up a little bit more pace, just having that clear air in front. So yeah, the team's fully making the most of that, but yeah, unfortunately I think he just caught one of the tail enders there, so that hindered them a bit, to be honest. Yeah,
it's always a bit of a mix. But you never know when you catch them. There's laps either side of the pit window if you're pitting late. Otherwise, if you pit early, then it's just afterwards. So in comes Adrian Lewandowski, and Father Andre will be taking the number 3 over. Lucas Valkyrie, the race leader, enjoying himself so much. He's got 4 and a bit minutes until he absolutely must come in. So he's probably got the chance to do this lap, one more to be on the safe side, and then report in to hand over to Diego Locanto.
Yeah, definitely must be enjoying himself out there. He's in a good rhythm, just banging in the lap times, really consistent. So, yeah, nice position to be in.
At the moment, running second on the track is Donovan Privitello, but he will be reporting in the pits to hand over to Father Luciano. Last year's champions together in the LC category. And the driver being strapped into the number 3 Autosport racing car. So much success, so many titles in the Super Trofeo. It's Andrei Lewandowski. Hasn't done all the races this year, so he's actually going to finish behind his son Adrian, because he didn't score when his son was out there racing. But what a staunch supporter of the Super Trofeo. Knows what to do. Nothing like experience to go with your speed.
Certainly. It makes all the difference.
Right, this is a car we got to keep our eyes on. Car number 32, Paolo Biglieri. You heard him being interviewed by Dakota. He said he's got to do it for his family, and he's going to chase, but the target's going to be some way up the track. Shota Abkazava. A little bit of tail end damage there, is it? Oh no, it's a little strap. It's a little toe strap just sticking out the back over the at the back of the car, obviously there to tow it out of it. Ends up in the, perish the thought, in the gravel.
And then just looking at Biglieri's lap time as well, he's actually got the fastest lap of the race. So he's definitely fired up for sure, and pushing on. So he's definitely cracking on with a job.
Okay, what we want to see, of course, is not just how much he can continue that chase. It's also how much what the pace of Abkazava will be. We heard hope from Biglieri. Oh yes, Abkazava was taking it out of his tyres fighting with the AMs. Has he? Well, let's see their relative pace through to the end of the race. 22 minutes remain. We've just gone past the halfway point. So the clock continues to count. Car 72 leading the race, needs to come in fairly soon, because it's you've got to share these things, you know. So Diego Locanto will want to take over from his young teammate, but Lucas Valkyrie's put on a really good show. But actually, right at this point, you know, he's just got to be a little cautioned. I tell you what, there's Paolo Biglieri going, sort of get out of my way, would you really, you know?
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, he's a man on a mission, and he's looking very, very determined. So, yeah, he's doing exactly what he has to, not wasting any time. And, yeah, maybe some cheeky flash of the headlights as well time to time.
Well, I'm slightly concerned. I was just actually wondering if Lucas Valkyrie had pitted, but we don't have annotation. He has got a pink patch behind his name. Why has his pace suddenly dropped right off? Because he was leading very, very comfortably. Or has there been a driver change and he just hasn't flicked the driver ID and it's Diego Locanto on board? Anyhow, either way, if he hasn't pitted in 72, he's got to come out. I'm sort of slightly thinking he might have done, you know, it's in every race there's at least one driver who doesn't really flick the driver ID switch. It's just a little test for us commentators, really. But coming in, so why did he slow down so much? I mean, he was able to be picked off by Paolo Biglieri, and Paolo absolutely flying in his hope of winning the LC class, but for Lucas Valkyrie, I'm slightly perplexed by that.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. I can't quite work that one out.
Because he was looking pretty at the front of the race, looking, you know, he pulled clear.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing a good job. You know, lap times looked okay, so yeah, don't see the whole picture there. Didn't see anything on the camera.
No, and now that lap has gone off our timing screens, we can't look at the sector splits. But, you know, the fact he was caught and passed, it perplexed me for a slight moment, because I thought, however fast Paolo Biglieri was going once he got out on the track, you know, by having led the race so easily, I thought Lucas Valkyrie could match it. But he caught and passed in that moment. You think, is that a back marker? No, hold on, that's the race leader.
Yeah, that was an interesting one for sure. That doesn't usually happen very often.
No, it doesn't, because he was running metronomically, Lucas Valkyrie, at the front end of the race. Obviously, they're working away on releasing a bit of... They're dropping the tyre pressures there.
Yeah, I would definitely say so, just dropping the pressure a little bit. So, yeah, when it reaches towards the end of the stint, the tyres are just going to be in a nice sort of pressure window, because you always find the pressure peaks when you stop, just with the tyres heat soaking when they come to a full stop.
God, the things you drivers know. But it's vital, isn't it? Every tiny little difference can just make a mountain. So let's see. Pit window is now closed, but it's all right because this car had entered the pit lane before then. But a car racing up the start-finish straight and one racing to leave the pits, and there could be a change of lead coming up because Stefan Tribudini in the white and yellow car has come out, nearly managed to catch Diego Locanto. Locanto's taken over from erstwhile leader Lucas Valkyrie, his teammate, but now he's got to get up onto his A game very, very quickly indeed, because Tribudini, who took victory in yesterday's race, heat in the tyres, heat in his mind, but actually, I think through the first few corners, Diego Locanto's got right onto it.
Yeah, and just going back to yesterday as well, Tribudini, is already wrapping up the championship, so he'll just be thinking, right, you know what, let's have fun, may as well push and yeah, see what we can do. I mean, he doesn't have to worry about taking any risks, and there we go, he's done the move, he's done the lunge, and yeah.
Well, what was interesting there, turn 5, such an important corner, feeds the cars eternally to the right and then over a crest, down onto the back straight. It's the fact it enters the back straight. And the speed through the speed trap as they ran down towards the hairpin, a 9-kilometre difference, which shows how Stefan Tribudini got a far better run through turn 5. But of course, he had 2 laps of getting himself into the groove before that, and it really paid off. You know, in terms of natural pace, you'd expect Tribudini, I would suggest, to work his way to the front anyhow. But you know, it was a good attempt there by Diego Locanto.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Tribudini's a champion for, you know, good reason. But yeah, for sure, it certainly helps just having that lap or two before, just to get yourself back into the car and warmed up. You know, it certainly makes a difference, and rightfully so. Seeing now with a 9k difference with the exit speed, you know, you've really got to push a lot more to sort of create that much extra speed.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of circuits, you don't. The positioning of the speed trap isn't normally naturally. But let's go down because Dakota's hunting in the pits, and she's got Pier Giacomo around that, so whose car is now in the lead.
We've just seen Stefan take the lead for the race. We've just seen him take the lead for the race. We just saw Stefan take the lead for the race. How happy are you today to be racing, already being a champion?
Okay, today was a good race for me because I will spend my time to improve my skills on the dry condition, because in the first 2 days of test I had some problems about the feeling with the track, and I'm so happy, very happy, to be honest. And now Stefan is first, and we hope to win the race.
Is there anything you'd like to say to your Italian friends and family?
Ok ragazzi, un abbraccio forte a tutti gli italiani, ai miei amici e a chi mi vuole bene. Fate il tifo per me. Come on.
What he said was a big hug to all my friends and families and everyone watching. Come on, let's see how you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dakota, and thank you very much to Piero Giacomo, very enthusiastic down there, and it looks so he could be heading for another podium result, and he'd very much be one of the ones enjoying this separation of AM and LC because the grid is just so big here. You know, gives them a moment in the sunshine. It wasn't sunshine yesterday, it is today, but you know, it's great to give more people a chance to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, for sure. It's always good to see it mixed up a little bit. And yeah, for sure. I mean, the change of conditions, yeah, it's definitely going to make the job a lot different for the guys there today.
Okay, let's cut to the chase. The white car, number 66 from VSR, not only leading the race, but absolutely streaking clear with Stefan Tribudini on board. In fact, that lead is now over. Just wait and see who's going to come through next, because, of course, we had some people pitting very, very late. It's Diego Locanto, 10.3 seconds down in the space of a lap, so he's going to fall further, clearly, in that situation. Andre Lewandowski, who was one of the last drivers to take over from his son Adrian, is in 3rd place. This is important. Shota Abkazava was running 4th in the first part of the race, still leads LC, and the challenging car, Paolo Bilieri, has 3 cars between him and Abkazava, and in terms of time, he is about 5 seconds off the back. It's possible, and he has been quicker than Abkazava since the pit stop, so let's see. He was pumped up in the pit lane, but those 3 cars are going to be a problem for him. They're all running in front of him. It's Wheeling Hand, Stefan Geran and Surin Mazur, all drivers who did the first part of the race as well. So they are dialed in. There they are, respectively, the 2 black cars with Mazur in the back. And then gradually catching them will be Paolo Bilieri, but not close enough. At the end of last lap, he was 2.3 seconds down. Actually, if they keep on fighting like this, he may well get in the final quarter now of the race. In the background of the shot, there is Paolo Biglieri, car number 32. Look for it, getting more into the shot. Silver with blue flashes on it.
Yeah, and just looking at the last lap time from Biglieri, I mean, he's 2 seconds a lap quicker than the two guys in front. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be on them in no time for sure. So, yeah, he just needs to bide his time, keep doing the job he's doing. And, yeah, I mean, for sure, with the guys scrapping a little bit, it's going to fall right into his hands here.
Yeah, but then the driver he's chasing after is another 3 seconds clear of this scrap as, wow, Biglieri's really closing in. He's faster than Abkazava, but Abkazava is running 4th overall and has a few people between him and the opposition. Change for 2nd place. Andrei Lewandowski, the blue-nosed car, has just moved ahead of Diego Locanto. Just wanted to see what Diego's pace is. It's yeah, he's running 6 and a bit seconds down on the race leader. He's going to fall a bit more, and the next person to catch him will be Shota Abkazava. Let's see how soon. That should be on this lap, though. So the last thing that Paolo Biglieri needs is for Abkazava to move up another position. However, Stuart, it does mean that when Locanto falls back to this scrap between Huilinhan, Guerin, Mazur, and now Biglieri,
yeah,
he may just slightly interrupt it.
Definitely, I mean, if he continues the pace he's doing, for sure, he's going to fall right into the hands of Abkazava. And yeah, the guys following in suit as well. So it's going to make things, yeah, ideal for Biglieri, actually. So, yeah, I'm sure the team will be on the radio just telling, OK, just keep doing the job you're doing. It'll come to you. So, yeah, no pressure.
Well, straight onto the tail of that group, that trio in front of him. The silver car at the back, car 32. It's the car with the crew, Matic and Biglieri, who may just take the LC title, but the driver holding that half in his hands at the moment is Shota Abkazava. Oh, right, time penalty, car 40. A few of those now starting to be issued. It's pit stop misdemeanors basically coming out slightly too soon. Right, Surin Mazur in the white car just holding back Biglieri. Biglieri needs to get past these cars very soon indeed. As the penalties come, got to just double check they're not affecting any of the front runners. And actually, as it happens, they're not so far. Car 27, that's Stefan Lemeray, that's down in 9th place. So the ones we're looking at here, Huilinhan holding down 5th place. Stefan Guerra right on his tail. Surin Mazur, but the one that needs to pass all 3 of them is Semi looking to have a move there, not quite close enough. Paolo Biglieri. The clock is not his friend. 12 minutes remain and falling.
Yeah, for sure. He's probably wishing right now that the race was another half an hour longer because, yeah, this is really starting to heat up now.
Right, the part that is possibly going to be the changing factor here is Diego Locanto. He's falling back to the nose of this 4-car battle, but every time Surin Mazur blocks Paolo Biglieri, it's another opportunity lost. But when they catch the car that led the first half of this race, then things may shake up this quartet.
Yeah, and just looking at Biglieri, he just needs to try and, I think, try and spook, you know, the car in front. Maybe just fire a sort of a dummy move as such, force him to go to the inside, and yeah, just maybe try a switch back on one of these corners. Or let's see here, is he going for the lunge? Thinking about it. Oh, it's tight. Well, that was very close.
That really was close, and you know, front corner damage could really have affected the rest of the race. But you see, the thing is, with Surin Mazur, he's new to the championship. The other drivers don't know him. He's very short on racing experience. Clearly, very, very quick indeed to take to these Super Trofeo cars so quickly. But you know, maybe he doesn't have the racecraft, and maybe he does things that the other drivers aren't quite accustomed to. But he's going to be shaken and rattled. You know, well, there was going to be the last thing Biglieri needed to do was get a move wrong, but he was becoming a little bit desperate. And I think if you're fans of Shota Abkazava, particularly as Paolo can't get it back onto the sticky stuff, wet grass, you see, and it's what a nightmare. You could just sense that pent-up frustration, and now he's found some tarmac. Oh, my heart goes out to Paolo Biglieri.
Yeah, such a painful moment that. I mean, yeah, and if I was in his position, yeah, for sure. I mean, I would be pushing all out as well, thinking, okay, you know, we've got to take the risk if we want to try and have a chance at this championship. And yeah, I mean, there's moments like that where it's a bit touch and go, but like you're mentioning, if the driver in front maybe is a bit new to the championship and you don't quite know what he's going to do, it's it's just an unfortunate one, really, there.
Well, let's take a look at how it happened. 32 is Paolo Biglieri, in front is Surin Mazur, and this is the run between turn 8 and here it is at turn 9, down up the inside. Needed a bit of complicity from the car on the outside. Mazur didn't offer any, and then it was like the sort of eternity of time seemed to pass. Trying to get your car straight on grass that's still wet from a heck of a lot of rain over the last day and a half, and oh, that would have felt like 5 days down there for Paolo Biglieri.
Yeah, I mean, he lined up the move nice initially, and then I think he just saw the door closing from in front, and he kind of thought, you know, he's quite late on the brakes already, and yeah, just had to kind of avoid almost and go to the grass, and yeah, I mean, you saw the result there. It's just, it's never going to work touching that wet grass.
No, certainly that does mean that Shotav Gazava will now be the champion in LC. Thank you very much to Stuart Middleton. He's a busy guy. He's got to flee to do some track activities that follow straight after this race. Oh, now suddenly look, there is bodywork rubbing there. Oh dear, Diego Locanto. This is the car with which Lucas Valkyrie led the race early on. He pulled clear, and Diego fell back into the battle, and someone has taken a chunk out of the side of his car, and that is going to be very frustrating. Surin Mazur is trying to pass him, and may yet do that before the end of the race. 8.5 minutes remain, and it is just bodywork rubbing on a tyre, but that can also lead to a cut tyre, a puncture at some point. Sharp bodywork on increasingly soft tyre could be a problem, but for now, Diego Locanto holds on. Surin Mazur goes alongside, takes a look, makes the move, and looks like Locanto's going to lose another position too. I think it's Stefan Lemeray next in the line. Haven't talked too much about our race leader for a while. That's Stefan Trebudini. You know why? He's 23 seconds clear. He is not going to be troubled. Then there's 5 seconds from Andrei Lewandowski in second to the leading Lamborghini Cup class car. Now, let's take a look at where did the blow has already happened. You can see the bodywork rubbing, and it's side by side, but Diego Locanto is driving the affected car. And side by side racing action for him, but frustration. Will that car be brought in case it picks up a puncture? Stefan Trebudini, victor yesterday with Pier Giacomo Randazzo, and with that they landed the AM title for 2024. And now, why not end it? The pressure is off, they can have the fun, and they most certainly are doing just that. And it's Trebudini leading all the way. He has the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 47.0 seconds. He's lapping very close to that pace at the moment. And the car giving chase, this one, Andrei Lewandowski, he's lapping roughly 2 seconds a lap slower. So it'll go out to close to half a minute by the end of the race. Trebudini could back it off. He doesn't need to keep pressing. But actually, often it's a whole lot better to do that. You don't want your concentration to wander when you've backed it off by a second or two or lap. So for VSR, that's Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. He will keep pressing on. And car number 3 started 7th. Oh dear, suddenly we have a tumbler into the gravel. Sylvain Doms, he was running towards the tail of the field for DS Racing, and the French racer, can he get it out of there? The front end looks all right, but can't even tell if the engine is still running, but he's sitting in the gravel. Now, where is that? Oh, it's at turn 1. It's up at the first corner. I can't see it from my commentary position. But, right, you could see the way Andrei Lewandowski has spotted it. He backed it off into the corner. There'll be waved yellow flags there. Oh, it's the rear wheels that just can't quite bite. Oh, how frustrating for Sylvain Doms. But safety car, hold on, I'll give you a number. 25. That's the number of seconds by which Stefan Trebudini leads the race. Safety car will come round, and when it picks him up, his lead will be taken away from him. No, he'll still be leading, but his lead margin, depending how long the safety car period is, will be reduced. He's still got the performance, but suddenly Andrei Lewandowski in second place may have an opportunity. But let's not jump ahead of ourselves. We've got to see how soon the field can be caught and slowed behind the safety car that should come out in front of the number 66 from VSR, in front of Stefan Trebudini. And number 72 did come in. This is the car with which Lucas Valkyrie took the lead at the start of the race for DL Racing. Diego Locanto took over, was picked off very quickly indeed by Stefan Trebudini. And now with that bodywork damage, they've come in and replaced the tyres, which is totally the sensible thing to do. You really see how the wind's picking up, looking at those race officials up on the gantry above the start-finish line. The wind blowing, you know, south to north, which is pretty much straight up the start-finish straight. And has Diego Locanto vacated the number 72. He's come round to look at what wasn't his work. It was the work of another car with which he clashed. And for Sylvain Doms, nothing he can do. So nearly got out of the gravel, but those rear tyres buried deep in the tricky stuff. So safety car out, and just remember it was a 25-second margin that Stefan Tribudini had ahead of Andrei Lewandowski. And with the safety car picking them up, that gap will come down and down and down. And there's Diego explaining all. So safety car has picked up Stefan Tribudini, the race leader. It'll take quite a while for the rest to catch up. They will close those 25 seconds, but for the rest of the race, Tribudini's just going to be thinking, how soon will the restart happen? How soon can they get that car off? And it will take quite a few, you know, the best lap time in this race, 1:47, but obviously running behind the safety car, the gap has come down, and already Andrei Lewandowski has reduced the lead from 25 seconds to about half a second as he runs around behind Tribudini. In time, the driver who's got his hands firmly now on the LC category trophy will be up into third place. Shota Abgazava, he will close in the background shot. His is another blue car. There it is. It's metallic blue with the orange flashes, and in behind him, Stefan Guerin, who's got ahead of Wheel in Hand. And the car that was off at the first corner has been removed before the second corner. So that is a nice quick pull. They'll get it behind the tyre walls, and the message will be passed on to race director Alain Adam that, yeah, the coast is clear. But at a bated pace, which is what you run, there they go down to turn 6 behind the safety car. That message needs to get across very quickly, or they won't have time to do a final racing lap. So just look at the lights on the roof of the safety car. They are still a-flashing. That means that the intention is, unless they go off very soon, the intention is to do another lap behind the safety car. But the gaps have come down and down and down, and for some of the drivers, this may be redemption, a chance to make good something that went wrong earlier in the race. Let's wait and see. But let's not wait too long. Lights still flashing as they go up to turns 9 and 10. I was rather hoping that they would have been switched off, that the message would have come through very quickly indeed, that we want to go racing all over again. Safety car in this lap, just in the nick of time. Well done, race control. So that's been spotted by Stefan Tribudini. He's got right in behind Andrei Lewandowski. Behind him, the driver who is within touching distance of the LC title. There he is, car number 75, driver number 75, Shota Abgazava, going through turns 11, 12 and 13, but Stefan Tribudini had spotted as they went between 9 and 10, the lights going out, so the safety car has come in. What Tribudini has to do, he cannot be overtaken before the start-finish line, but you know what, he's gone for it already. He's decided not to hang around. He's not going to wait. He's put the power down. He's trying to make a break ahead of Andrei Lewandowski. Is anybody in this line going to try and gain a place? Well, the one who will be doing that is Paolo Bilieri. He's up into second place in the LC class. Would love to get ahead of Shota Abgazava, but he's about 2 seconds behind him. Abgazava leading the class in third place overall. Bilieri down in 8th. He may pick up a place, but we should just have time for this lap and one further lap. We're going to keep an eye on in case they try to bring our fun to an end before I'm ready for it to end. But the remaining cars in this field, this is a race just for the AM and LC category cars from the European Series. We've had 6 rounds of the championship this year. Started at Imola in April, on to Spa-Francorchamps in May, Le Mans, Nürburgring, Barcelona, where we had a trio of races, and still in Spain for the finale. And Stefan Tribudini, a winner yesterday, became a champion yesterday in the AM class, has got it done. But in the background, Surin Mazur is running side by side, having a look, trying to pick off Stefan Guerin. Guerin does it, but of course went too deep in the corner. The place changes back all over again. But you've got to try. Stefan Tribudini, what a class act, pulling ever further clear. And in fact, as Surin Mazur was trying to gain positions, the driver close to him was Paolo Bilieri, was hoping he could pick up a place or two. Running a bit wide in front, Stefan Lemeray, car number 27. Sometimes wide in gives you a smoother run to the exit, but it didn't really favour him at all there. So we'll be getting 2 flying proper racing laps after the safety car withdrew, and up to the hairpin, turn 15, this 15-turn circuit, and Stefan Tribudini will go on to the final lap with about 8 seconds remaining. He beat the clock, and he's going to try and stretch his advantage, but the way he got away on the restart shows that he's got all the performance he needs in hand. And the outside hope in the LC category is running second in the category, but he's still down in 8th place. Paolo Bilieri seems to be able to do nothing about Surin Mazur in the white and black car that's just going out of the shop. And the silver, black and blue car is the car that was started by Petar Matic, and Paolo Bilieri hoped, against really expectations in so many ways, that he'd be able to take victory from Shota Abgazava, not just in this race in class, but in the title battle. And with Shota heading now, surely, to win his category yet again. There he is, third in that line of cars. It's the blue car with the orange nose strip, the orange mirrors. Doesn't look as though there's going to be too much place changing behind. Guerin holds off Lemeret. Running second, Andrei Lewandowski. But you can see how much he's already lost out to Stefan Trebudini, but another second place will be good for him. And I think as we go around this, the final lap, we passed the 50-minute mark in this 50-minute race. In fact, the sun just going down behind a cloud. Suddenly the sunshine's been with us, has gone away, but it's certainly sunny if you're Randazzo and Trebudini, because that will make it 2 wins in 2 days. Yesterday, Thursday, here at Circuito de Jerez, it was wet, greasy, changeable conditions. Today has been dry. It's been great fun. So they must feel as though they've almost had 2 different championship rounds. 2 different races, though. And turn 15 of a 15-turn circuit means it's the last corner of the last lap for Stefan Trebudini. And he's going to flash through for Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. Made it look easy. He was 25 seconds clear. The safety car came out. Everyone got put onto his tail. But here comes Shota Abgazava, car number 75, to take 3rd place in this race and secure the Lamborghini Cup title. So very well done to Shota and the Artline team. Any place changes are going to happen. If they are going to happen, it'll be at the tail of the field. But it was the Lewandowskis in 2nd place, car number 3. Trebudini and Randazzo, outright winners. And their applause up and down. That's VSR, that's Randazzo. That was a good wet race yesterday for victory, and a good dry race for victory number 2 for the crew with Trebudini. Wheel in hand came 3rd in the AM class, 4th overall. Stefan Guerin was 5th, 6th was Stefan Lemeret, car number 27. Surin Mazur having a calmer race today, showing very good speed early in his career, in 7th overall. 2nd car in Lamborghini Cup was the challenger, Paolo Bilieri with Petar Matic, and Holger Harmsen came through to 9th overall to take 3rd place in Lamborghini Cup. But our winner, Giacomo Randazzo, who started, and Stefan Trebudini, who just absolutely flew around the circuit. That's 2 wins in 2 days, wet followed by dry. And for the Lewandowskis, the pair of them, Adrian, who started, and then father Andre, who took over the second part of the race, 2nd overall, is a great reward for them. Neat and tidy and stayed out of trouble, but always in the mix. But for our winners, Giacomo Randazzo and Stefan Trebudini, what a great run for them. But 3rd overall, and also winning the Lamborghini Cup category, and also claiming the LC title. It's this man, Shota Abgazava, for Artline. And Shota continues to show that age is no barrier. He has a few more candles on his birthday cake than some, but he's out there having a huge amount of fun in his 50s. And so we came here to Circuito de Jerez for the final rounds. 2 races for each of the Super Trofeo series from Asia, from North America, and the European series entry was so great that the classes had to be split down the middle. And this is the final race for the LC and AM runners, and they form up beneath the podium. Their season is complete. The titles, we know the identity of all of the champions, and the drivers who won and wrapped up the AM class yesterday, the title was theirs before they started. They've ended it with another win. Car 66, Stefan Trebudini, who's climbing out, and Giacomo Randazzo, who no doubt will go out to greet him and applaud him. What a smooth run from Trebudini. He knows what to do. He's been in a collection area before, so yeah. Couple of class wins for them here in Spain. The World finals to follow. And the Artline crew got their We Are the Champions t-shirts there already. Champions 2024 LC class. The local t-shirt shop has done a roaring trade. But here's Shota. Watch out, there'll be an extravagant smile beneath that extravagant moustache. Get his helmet off, and now is celebration time. Champion for not the first time, it must be said, in Super Trofeo. But let's go down, because Dakota's with the race winners.
That was just the cherry on top of the cake, wasn't it, for you? Already a champion, but another race win, why not?
Yeah, really happy. I have a lot of fun in the car. I push very the maximum for train also for tomorrow, because we don't have a lot of dry session on the two last days. So I would like to test myself for tomorrow and Sunday, because it will be a good, very hard fight, I think, with the World Final. So my plan was to test me and the car for the World Final.
Do you know how many seconds you got at the gap before the safety car came out? Can you guess?
Maybe around 15 seconds, something.
23.
23 seconds in, that's unbelievable. What a fantastic drive from both you and your teammate.
Just one word for Piero, because he do the amazing first stint. He make a very, very nice overtake. So he don't overtake a lot like that, so I'm really happy he make it. So very good job for Piero also.
Piero, ottimo lavoro. Nothing I can say more.
Yes, the same feeling that I speak with you before, and I'm very happy for me and for Stefan, and first of all for all the team, because the team give us a fantastic car, to be honest.
Un abbraccio grande. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Well, that was a very smooth job, and his rivals must be thinking, oh gosh, he was just out there testing for the World Finals. That was really impressive from Stefan Trabudini. He didn't have to have too much traffic around him because of the solid job done by his teammate, Pier Giacomo Randazzo. So there's Paolo Bilieri. He lost it there, trying to do all he could to gain places, to have a tilt, an outside chance, but he was still going for it in the LC class. But he got on the grass, and that was that. But he still managed to come home second in class. Didn't actually lose any points by going off the track, but he had to try and see if he could catch the man who's waving the flag down there, and that is Shota Abkazawa. And Dakota's as fast as possible, and she's down there with our LC champion.
They were very hard to miss in their bright blue T-shirts. Shota, come over here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Lamborghini Cup champion 2024. How does it feel?
My team ready for this result. Anyway, it was really complicated all this season. Fantastic season. You remember, starting storm, bad weather, follow to us all our season. But anyway, I'm completely happy. It's third time when I win championship. Now is LC division, and completely happy. Thank you guys. First of all, thanks my team, engineer, mechanics, everywhere, family, and thanks Lambo. It's a great pleasure to participate here, and thank you.
Congratulations, a massive congratulations.
So great to see. Thank you, Dakota, for being so efficient down there. Of course, the podium ceremony will follow. Just the two classes. This was a divided race. This was for AM and LC. The AM title had been sorted in the rain yesterday, but Shota is the driver with the biggest smile because he landed that title. There are the T-shirts that go with it for the Artline team. Driver's still getting a quick chug of water down there before they go up. They've done the hard work, but they do need to go up and move on from water to champagne up there on the podium. So that was a busy race. But let's look at the results, and here they are. And in the second of the two races, specifically for AM and Lamborghini Cup runners, the results are coming here, but it was a clear win for Pier Giacomo Randazzo, who started, and Stefan Tribudini, who finished. They finished eventually 5 seconds clear, but it would have been a lot more if it hadn't been for the safety car. Andrei Lewandowski and son Adrian came home in second place. Shota Abkazawa landing the Lamborghini Cup in third overall. What a season he's had. Wheel in hand, a little bit of contact at the first corner, but then he was battling all race. He takes fourth, just ahead of Stefan Guerin. A couple of cars got damaged and didn't get to finish, including the one that led the first half of the race. Lucas Valkyrie handed to Diego Lecanto, but bodywork damage accounted for that. Sylvain Doms also didn't make it to the finish. But the season is over now for the 2024 European Super Trofeo, and we just got the final podium ceremony to wrap it up. But for most of these drivers, this is just the end of their season, but they go straight into the World Finals over Saturday and Sunday here in Jerez. The weather is set fair. It's been a much nicer day today, yesterday. But let's take a look at the highlights of the race. So now we prepare for the drivers to be brought out for the final time in the 2024 season for the European Series, and Super Trofeo never fails to entertain. Even with the 16 cars in this race, specially separated from the pros and the pro-ams, we had plenty to talk about. It was great to be joined by Stuart Middleton. Great to have a racing driver's perspective up in the commentary box, and it's been really good to get some new people coming to sit alongside me. But Shostak Pizarro, well, he's the star of the show. There he is in the middle of the shot. Everybody else, you know, smiling and applauding him, because that's another title in the bag, another selfie, and a trophy to follow when he gets out there, when the LC runners get to go and get called out for their trophies and their champagne and their celebration. But smiles all round. Stefan Trebbiadini sitting down, he enjoyed the action, because he really just made such a getaway in the second half of the race. There's father and son, Andre and Adrian Lewandowski, waiting their turn to go back out. With plenty to discuss, but right at the end of the race, of course, with the safety car, suddenly Andre found himself right on the tail of the race leader, Stefan Trebbiadini, with just the 2 laps to go. They got released and were able to race the finish, but Stefan had so much speed in hand that he pulled out a 5-second margin. But for the Lewandowski father and son, second on the race day, well, they'll take that. Petr Matic thinking what may have been, and then in behind Paolo Bilieri, who took over the car, who was hoping that he could take them to the pair of them to victory in LC. He made a bid, it didn't work. We saw what happened between turns 9 and 10. He got on the grass, still came home second in class though, but that was the moment where he lost out as he tried to pass Surin Mazur. So out they come onto the podium. Third in the AM class, wheel in hand. He was 4th overall. Second place, the Lewandowskis, Adrian and his father, Andre. And then the 66 crew from Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. Winners today, winners yesterday, and champions in the AM class. Stefan Trebbiadini and Piero Randazzo. All smiles. Randazzo leads the duo out, but that was an impressive run from them. So as the Italian national anthem fades away for Vincenzo Sospiri Racing, out come the trophies. Wheel in hand there. He was nervous at the start. There's a bit of contact as Lucas Valkyrie went past him and then pulled clear. But he was fighting all race. And you know what? That's actually what drivers want as well. 4th at the end, but 3rd in the AM class. The Lewandowskis, 2nd place for the pair of them, and they look suitably happy there. Smiles all round for father and son. Stefan Trebbiadini and Piero Randazzo, what I was going to say a weekend, but it's a Thursday and Friday here in Jerez they have had, and that really sets them fair for having a crack when it comes to the World Finals over Saturday and Sunday. And so the team representative from the winning team, VSR, Vincenzo Sospiri Racing, joins in the photo up on the top step of the podium here at Jerez. None of these drivers are strangers to podium ceremonies. They know exactly what to do, and they know that trophy, photo, champagne, that's what follows next, and it's going to be uncorked in the land of sherry. It's champagne joining the show. And in such a packed meeting, there are already some special hot laps being put on for VIPs while the podium ceremony goes on. But here is the car that took victory in this AM and LC race, and they won the AM class comfortably. Stefan Trebbiadini and the driver who started, Pier Giacomo Randazzo. They wrapped up the title yesterday, stretched their advantage today, with Stefan Guerin just keeping himself ahead of wheel in hand to finish the year in 2nd place in the AM Championship, with Adrian Lewandowski closing in but not being able to overhaul wheel in hand. Got close, didn't quite do it. So leads to Lamborghini Cup, and out they will come. And this was the title that was settled this afternoon. Randazzo and Tribudini wrapped up the title yesterday, but the LC title was sorted this afternoon. Holger Hampson third in the category today, looking happy for GT3 Poland. Car number 32, they pushed, they tried, but it wasn't to be for Paolo Bilieri and Petar Matic. But Artline Racing, they took victory in the Pro and Pro-Am race, and they've won this one as well. And here comes a man with a big flag, a big smile, and a great attitude to his racing. He loves racing Lamborghinis. Shota Abkazawa for Artline.
Let's hear Shota's national anthem.
So out come the trophies, more for the Abkazawa family cabinet. Holger Hampson, he's been gathering them quite a lot this year as well. He's in third place. Federica Teneggi brings out the trophies for the second place crew. Paolo Bilieri closer to us and Petar Matic alongside. And just one trophy needed for the winner. Just the one driver. He drives solo, and again, as he jokes, here I am.
And please, could I ask the team manager of Artline Racing to come and stand right here?
And it's only fitting when you land a championship that your team chief is there as well. So Artline will send their representative out onto the podium, and you sort of feel that he may just suffer a little bit in the champagne battle when the fizz gets sprayed.
And if you could all get on the top step.
And so she, I beg your pardon.
Squeeze on the top step for a lovely group photo.
And there we are, the group photo at the end. Holger Hampson on the right, Petar Matic and Paolo Bilieri on the left, and on the top step, Shota Abkazawa. Another great season for him in Super Trofeo racing. So team rep runs away, and I think the champagne, it will spray, but 2 days of racing done, one in the wet, one in the dry. World finals to follow over Saturday and Sunday, and the weather is looking as though it's going to be very, very good indeed for those. Shota Abkazawa, well, his eyes may be stinging, he may be wet down his back, but that's joy unbridled.
Congratulations, the Amers and
There is the winning car in class, not just in the race today, when it had a fantastic third position overall, but across the whole championship, across 12 races, 6 rounds, and took the title in the end by 13.5 points from the chasing, charging Bilieri and Matic. They tried, just couldn't quite pull it off. And Holger Hampson, third today, third at the end of the season. So that is it, the end of the 2024 Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe. Let's take a look at today's highlights.